我打了。
但是我至少看到，然后
じゃあ一緒に考えよう。
佢哋啲話要俾佢全拍比較好吧？實地病好啊，好啊，諗法，嗱我刪翻細佢啲先。這樣嘛？這樣嘛？
It died. Where the die goes is also where the
boots and cats，
There's a certain smell. There's more popping up. See how many are popping out in the trail of this smell. See what they're doing? They're swelling up, they're setting their sails, and as soon as water comes, they will be surfing.
照計係 check 到音樂，即係本字幕應該唔會 check 嘅，應該係。
Okay, guys, this is what it used to surf with. They use the water just like a sail would use wind.
海星啊！又跳咗，又斷咗嗎？吓？咁奇怪？咩？又斷？冇，但係 YouTube 係咪 GG 咗啊 ？YouTube 係咪又 GG 咗啊？撕裂啦柒，撕裂啦嘟頭，撕裂啦外頭又指我寫咗明信片咯，我寫埋明信片先可以瞓啦。YouTube 度我寫咗明信片啦，冇事啦，好啊。有啲奇怪嘅啊，又嚟啦！意外又要出現啦，嚇死 A 子！又只用快收，又只用快收，竟然！What the hell， 又只用快收。而家 OK 太好啦，又只要同你講 sleep 啦，多謝卡神為老公。跟住寫埋嗰個明信片就會瞓噶啦，寫埋去。係啊，做咩把聲變晒？因為呢排開得太多直播啦，把聲沙咗啊！家騰為老公係。
Maybe just a couple of weeks, but then of course the sea just brings new kelp. If you look out there, you can see those kelp beds in the waves. So this cycle just goes on, and this is what the seagulls are after. Wow! Look at that. Yeah.
Smells like food, right? It even looks like it. I want to go wash it.
呢子就恰着啦。
called the rib muscle. See, but
拉佢過嚟培訓係嗎？原來係柚子抽個團過嚟啊！多謝柚子，歡迎你哋啊，歡迎你哋啊，係咪啊？抽團過嚟培訓好啊！瞓啦，好啊，瞓啦，
give me that kill. This liver.
瞓啦！大家陪住我瞓係咪？大家會陪住我瞓噶嘛？你哋係咪陪住我瞓嘅？陪住我瞓我先瞓。
Connected. Very nice find.
Guys, he's running on a rock.
See if you can get that one off. Okay, guys, look at this. This one is flat, unlike that one that lives on the kill. It's flat because it lives on a rocky surface. So you can put that one back where you found it.
有頭。
I don't know why there are so many in one spot. This specific snail is called 𝐤�𤄄𐤀𤐃𝐃, and it would inject acid into its prey with a little arrow that paralyzes the prey. They're harmless to human beings. Yeah, it's so good.
瞓啦，攰啦，斷斷續續開咗成日台係喎。
Look at this. Oh, you can just see how these amphipods cover the kill. They're eating the kill. Look at that. Looks like the sand is alive. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
They're bouncing, and if you have it in your hand, they like cut fire like down into your hand because I thought it was a
好
hand stuff.
晚安，我都係瞓啦，多謝。
Get into my hand. It was good. It was nice to explore and learn about things.
哇，好重啊媽線乜春 shit。
How it looks.
好咩？哇，好嘔心！哎呀，屎有曱甴，黐線嘅媽咪啊！點解啲外國台全部都係蟲嚟嘅？想點樣啊？點樣啊？點解啲外國台全部都係蟲嚟嘅？點解要咁對 A 子啊？點解？喂，哎呀，食屎！喊出嚟 A 子！喊出嚟啊 A 子！
延缓衰老等3大国家。
你睇電影喎 A 子啊 A 子男朋友好睇，嘈咗好睇啊好睇啦！兒童台同埋 A 子朋友喂喂乜嘢啊？
现在你知道吗？就跟手机一样，人手一机呀、每个人来就是
點解呢個台咁大聲嘅？
看到没有？私人网站。有些啥？已经追随撒旦的人甩掉。
唉，冇嘢好睇嘅，好睇啦！呢啲
30分钟包。
DNA 时洗脑，家属也直
吃甜食不怕胃食道逆。
设定闹钟可以，它可以帮我设定闹钟。可是如果说我要打开信件，不行。
係咯，個星爺電影都好，揸住個遙控恰着咗添，揸住個遙控恰着咗添。
一个师兄出来，2个师兄出。披萨，我们现场做的，好啊。有鏡係喎。咩仔？你頭髮未乾添，應該冇問題嘅。頭髮未乾添。
把聲沙痛，心痛死咩？係 A 子我會咩啲噶啦，我會瞓噶啦。等啲明信片要俾我摘炒咯。瞓醒再畫啦，咁 A 子。瞓醒再畫。
我在台北是代表我认识的组长，我任内所有的命案全部成立，包括
有啲紅。攞咗個風筒過嚟，好凍。你只好好休息知道噶啦，係。又係睇埋啲，因為有冇啲開心啲嘅嘢睇啊？
過鹽水港舊河道就可以到達橋南老街。
旅行台都幾好睇嘅。我又唔記得咗叉電啦，啲叉電嘢。琉璃，你嚟咗啊！琉璃 ，A 子我而家喺台灣啊！我喺台灣啊，我好掛住你啊！哎呀 ，A 子而家去攞個叉電先等啊！我去叉電先攞個。
如今在時代變遷下，橋南街沒落下來了。不過當時流行的住商混合傳統街屋，
如果唔叉定啲叉電嘢嘅話，聽日就做唔到直播噶啦。如果唔叉定啲叉電嘢嘅時候，咩話我都瞓啦，拜拜啦 ！A 嘈咩 ？Ui 快圖乜嘢？哦。
是台灣老街中少見的，在主屋與街道間延伸成一座3層的單坡向屋檐，
吹個頭先。晚安，早唞啦，琉璃早唞。我買手信翻嚟俾你嘅。鹽水港啊！晚安，Ui，晚安，早唞，辛苦晒啦，辛苦晒。其實我有預感咧，我應該翻到去香港會病咯，應該。我覺得我而家壓抑咗我啲唔舒服，然後我翻到香港應該會傷風感冒，可能會發燒。咁我上次係會，早唞咪咪，早唞啊，早唞啊，香香早唞啊。誰你不想愛誰，誰又要詐不知？ 就你手中有水。你咁諗咪會唔準你咁諗，聽法之道。勝不過如此。聽伯係咪返緊工啊？聽伯係咪返緊工啊？你係咪返緊工啊？而家你係咪？聽日返未？我睇下你係咪會陪 A 子瞓覺，瞓到聽朝早的書。睇下你係咪會陪 A 子瞓覺，瞓到朝早的書。可以，好嘢，好嘢。早晨啊，早晨啊，賢，早晨啊 ！A 子準備瞓覺啦，雖然你呢個時候入嚟，但 A 子差唔多瞓覺啦，想揾大家陪我瞓覺，係。想揾大家陪我瞓覺。嗰啲奇怪嘅嗰啲睇緊嗰個 Discovery Channel。Sleep Over Party 咁咩 Sleep Over Party 啊？咩嚟㗎？豆子係咩嚟㗎？咩嚟㗎？咩係 Sleep Over Party？ 咩嚟㗎？
They are ensuring a lasting legacy for both the forest and their family. It's a simple win-win arrangement. But there is one set of treats.
哦，你嚟咗台灣，係啊，我嚟咗台灣，你咁勁嘅，立即就知道嘅，點解你會知嘅？點解你咁勁嘅？點解立即就會知我嚟咗台灣嘅？太厲害了吧！
is at home with cooler climes.
呢幾日都好大雨，係啊，成日都落雨喎。呢幾日都 A 字都好苦惱喎，A 字都
A group of ancient seed-bearing trees that
A 字都覺得好苦惱。我哋個聽，我原來係咁。
Instead, yellowwoods produce male and female cones bound on separate trees, making pollination a somewhat tricky affair.
因為個妹妹好中意約埋過去傾今事嗰啲，我知你講乜嘢了。
All female. And growing in her shadow is a smaller male yellowwood, crucially positioned upwind. This male tree, cones packed with pollen, has been waiting for the perfect moment to release and reach a female. Once every few years, she produces a fleshy cone, now waiting for a delivery of pollen. Only meters apart, yet there is nothing guaranteed about this process. The wind's direction and temperature need to be just right for the pollen to reach them. Their chances of success are left blowing in the wind. But here on the mountain, it's windier than on the plains below, giving the pollen a helping hand. And incredibly, it works. A year later, the female cones have turned into fruit.
即係連電視都要有聲係啊，如果唔係瞓唔着啊。
With the help
如
of
果
the
唔係會
birds
瞓唔着咯。
and 𝐒𝒂💄 monkeys, the seeds are liberated. This haphazard technique has worked for thousands of years and for many tree types, so they must be doing something right. When surrounded by some of the most impressive trees in the world, one species is forced to raise a stink in order to get noticed. This is the land of titans. In the cool and temperate rainforests of Australia lives the mountain ash. In this place, where there is plenty of sunlight and water, these trees have grown into giants. Growing up to 1 meter a year, they are the tallest flowering tree in the world. At nearly 100 meters tall, these attention grabbers have a tendency to leave smaller trees in the shadows. So some trees have had to come up with a different strategy to get noticed. Banksia trees are tiny compared to the mountain ash. And even with their show of flowers, they struggle to attract the best pollinators. But as the sun sets and the giants sleep, the Banksia tree switches tactics. Time to lure in the pollinating big guns. A sugar glider. It's too hot during the day, so it's after dark that the family come out to forage. The possum's huge eyes help them spot insects in the dark. A perfect meal. possum wants to skip dinner and go straight to dessert. Their love of sugary treats is what the banksia tree is banking on. At night, the banksia goes into overdrive, flooding its flowers with a higher concentration of nectar. And the aroma of this extra sweet midnight snack draws the possum in. Just out of reach. But the sugar gliders have found an ingenious way to navigate. They parachute up to 45 meters, using a fluffy wingsuit, helping them reach the furthest branches. But he's been beaten to it by another sweet-toothed possum. With their pointed snouts and long tongues, it appears both Blossom and Possum may have co-evolved to meet each other's needs. More banksia pollen gets spread at these nocturnal forays than any other time of day. These tiny night-foraging marsupials and their love of sugary treats are helping to maintain the diversity of this ancient forest. While animals and trees can work together to help build a forest, the domination of one type of poisonous tree meant that an entire species had to lose its mind to survive. The Great Dividing Range is the mountain home to the most prolific tree in Australia, the eucalyptus. The perfect spot for another iconic Australian resident. The koala and eucalyptus co-evolved over hundreds of thousands of years. These trees contain everything the koalas need. Shelter, safety, and food. They even offer a cooling trunk to hug in the hottest weather. But they are far from nurturing. In fact, they want to stop the koala from eating their leaves by trying to kill them. These leaves are toxic. Just a tablespoon of eucalyptus oil can kill a human. But koalas eat up to 1 kilo of eucalyptus leaves every day. Living in the mountains dominated by this one species of tree, the koala has had to physically adapt in order to survive and foil the eucalypt's plan. They have evolved special liver enzymes and gut bacteria to digest the toxins. But all this has taken its toll on their body and brain. With a complex digestive system to run, compromises had to be made. This poor diet made the koala sleepy, conserving energy by dozing for up to 20 hours a day. Over time, their brains have literally shrunk, leaving them with the lowest body mass to brain ratio of any animal. He is all gut feelings over brains. So when an intruder enters his territory, there is only one way he can think of to deal with it. The treetop tussle starts out heated, but with energy levels quickly depleting, neither has the stomach for a long fight. The koala's shrinking brain is not a case of evolution working backwards. Quite the opposite. It shows an animal efficiently adapting to the forest, and in a relationship that is literally toxic. A tough gut is more important than a sharp mind. A forest can cloak a mountain in swathes of green. But that is not the only colour in its palette. This ancient mountain range in southeast Australia is 10 times older than the Grand Canyon, and is populated almost entirely by eucalypt trees. But life under the relentless southern sun is tough. Hard, leathery foliage filled with oil keeps the leaves from drying out. Tiny droplets of this oil disperse, catching the sunlight and tinting the air blue. Giving the famous Blue Mountains their name. Eucalyptus oil can paint the air, but its real purpose is part of a radical strategy for success: eliminating their competition. All it takes is a spark. Eucalypts are pyromaniacs. They love fire. The oil in the leaves is flammable, and by timing leaf drops with the fire season, the trees add more tinder to the furnace. Strips of bark invites the fire into the canopy. Carried by the wind, the embers can ignite more fires up to 40 kilometers away. Open crowns generate updraft, driving the inferno further. Until everything green is gone. But for some, this baptism of fire brings life. With the ground now clear, the Banksia's seed pod, sealed with resin, melts, releasing seeds into a fertile bed of ash. The eucalypt's trunks, protected from the fire, now regenerate with a surge of new growth. most of their competitors reduced to ash, they can once again ensure their rule. It will take time for the forest to recuperate and restore itself to its former glory. And it's all hands on deck. Emerging from his underground shelter, this echidna slept as the inferno raged above him. Now, the soil is cool enough. He has awoken from his state of torpor to start work as part of the forest regeneration team. As he looks for food, he tills the ground, spreading nutrient-rich ash, burying newly released seeds, and shifting burnt leaves. In the aftermath, he and his fellow spiny anteaters go about their business, helping kickstart the recovery of the forest. This fire warden is more in the fire prevention line of work. The superb lyrebird is best known for her impressive mimicry skills, impersonating anything from a kookaburra to a chainsaw. With feet like garden rakes, she sifts through the leaf litter looking for food. Shredding leaves and clearing the ground, she speeds up the decomposition process and creates natural fire breaks. The lyrebird reduces the amount of dead leaves that act as fuel by a massive 25% each year. Fire is part of the 𝐤�𝐿𝐄𝐿's master plan for gaining the upper hand. But Australia's climate is becoming hotter and drier, and the wildfires more frequent and intense. This fragile ecosystem needs time to recover between the burns, so the trees and their inhabitants can continue to thrive. Life at the top of the world is extreme, but with a toolkit of adaptations, a touch of magic, and a little help from some friends, forests and the animals that call them home can conquer the mountains.
Every Friday, join us for some incredible stories from the most pristine places around the world. Our best documentaries and award-winning programs find their way to Planet Wild, a new weekly event, Fridays on Love Nature. Some legends are naturals. Join us as we celebrate the biggest stars of the animal kingdom in our new weekly event, Wild Icons, Tuesdays on Love Nature. Love Nature. It's not just our name. It's a mission we share with those dedicated to conserving our wildlife.
Displays, rescues, and rehabilitates wildlife back into the wild.
We call it Love Nature Gives Back, our way to raise awareness and provide financial support to organizations featured in our programs.
If we save one animal, we have the potential to save the species.
Learn how to give back to the animals you love at lovenaturegivesback.com. On the island of Singapore, two competing troops of macaque monkeys battle for supremacy. This is their story. Macaque Island. On Love Nature.
I've searched the whole world 3 times over, through every close and open door. I didn't even know what I was looking for. I found a love so true.
Beyond our shores, an ancient predator roams the seas. Older than the dinosaurs. Older even than the first trees. Sharks have ruled the oceans for over 400 million years. From deep sea scavengers to aerial assassins, camouflaged ambush killers, to pack hunters. Few predators are as adaptable or as successful. Around the world, scientists strive to better understand their lives.
Hey, stay low. Oh, you big, beautiful girl.
Revealing the secret superpowers of the ocean's ultimate predator. It's dawn on the edge of Australia's Great Barrier Reef. A green turtle makes her way back to the sea, leaving behind a precious clutch of eggs buried in the sand. She's travelled over 600 kilometers to this remote nesting site on Rain Island, one of 60,000 to return here each year. But her presence has been sensed. Offshore, tiger sharks gather. They smell an opportunity. The tiger's nose is one of the most sensitive on Earth. It picks up the turtle scent from hundreds of meters away. Ears, hidden beneath tiny openings on its head, can detect sound frequencies far lower than human ears. The hunt is on. The turtle is no easy meal. Armed with a sharp, snapping beak and a shell capable of withstanding over 3,000 newtons of pressure, her defenses are strong. Meters out, a sixth sense kicks in. The shark doesn't just smell the turtle, it begins to feel it. Pressure-sensitive cells running the length of its body pick up the turtle's every move. The tiger takes its time. There's no point in getting injured. It avoids the sharp beak and waits until the turtle is forced to take a breath. It attacks from behind. Over 40 serrated teeth saw through the turtle's shell. It's over in seconds. The shark's superior tactics and weaponry make short work of the turtle's defenses. Around the world, a community of scientists are trying to understand what makes sharks so successful. Here on Rain Island, Richard Fitzpatrick has spent 10 years studying this gathering of tigers.
Tiger sharks are the most impressive predator in the tropical oceans, and they're found all around the world. When it comes to prey items found in the stomach of a tiger shark, pretty much everything's been found in there. Turtles, dugong, marine mammals, seabirds, sea snakes, rays. In the past, because of this weird range of food, people regarded tiger sharks as just out there eating anything and everything. They were kind of relegated to being not very smart, but that is just totally wrong. All these different food types require a specific strategy, not only of how to attack the prey, but to know when and where that prey occurs.
For the past 10 years, the team have been catching Rain Island's tiger sharks and fitting them with state-of-the-art satellite transmitters. Their mission? To unlock the secret to the tiger's success.
White belly, then we got a tiger.
Oh, it's a big one.
It's dangerous work.
Stay low, don't do it.
First, the team immobilize the tiger with a tail rope. Then they work fast to fit the tag.
Straight through this temple.
It will stay on for 2 years, transmitting the tiger's position to satellites in space whenever its fin breaks the surface.
Ready? Oh, you big, beautiful girl.
Using this technology, the team have discovered that when the turtle nesting ends,
Bye-bye.
most of the tigers leave Rain Island too.
A lot of our animals head right out east into the Coral Sea, hundreds and thousands of kilometres offshore, where it's thousands of metres deep. You know, they're heading out towards New Caledonia, up to the Louisiades, animals going to New Guinea, and even around the top of Australia into the Gulf of Carpentaria. So they're going massive distances.
But incredibly, a year later, like clockwork, they return to this tiny dot in the ocean.
We caught one shark 2 years in a row, at the same spot, the same hour, 365 days apart.
Not only do tigers find a way to navigate thousands of kilometers across open ocean with pinpoint accuracy, they also remember exactly when the turtles will be here. This ability is not unique to tigers. Wherever there are seasonal feeding opportunities, sharks appear out of nowhere. But how do they do it? On the other side of the globe, at the Zombie Shark Lab in North Carolina, scientist Kara Yopak is beginning to answer that question. Examining and scanning scores of shark and ray brains, she's made some surprising discoveries.
I think sharks get this reputation that they're these, pre-programmed small-brained eating machines. But what a lot of people are really surprised to find is just how complex their brains actually are. That sharks actually have relative brain sizes that are comparable to birds and mammals. They are capable of some incredibly complex behaviors. They are capable of learning. They can retain things in memory. And again, we've really, I think, only scratched the surface as far as what these animals are capable of doing behaviorally.
From the Arctic to the tropics, more than 500 different species of sharks roam our seas. No other apex predator is as wide-ranging or as successful. And Kara has discovered the key to the shark's success could lie in how their brains have evolved.
So, shark brains are hugely variable in terms of both brain size as well as the size of some of the major brain structures. There are some species, like this mako here, which has dedicated a very large proportion of the brain to the regions that process visual cues. But if you compare this to, say, the brain of a deep-sea shark, you would see those visual brain regions are much, much smaller.
Kara's groundbreaking work reveals sharks have evolved brains perfectly suited to the habitats they live in. And tiger sharks are no different.
What we find in their brains is really interesting because we see absolutely enormous olfactory bulbs.
The olfactory bulb is the area in the brain used to process smells. And in tiger sharks, it makes up nearly 30% of the brain's mass. Are they only using their highly developed sense of smell to find prey? Or could it have another use?
There's some evidence coming out that suggests these animals could be using odor cues in navigation. Much like we use visual cues to link locations, as in turn, right at this intersection. If locations have an odor cue, an animal could theoretically use that to get from place to place. If there is truth to the hypothesis, then we should see the largest olfactory bulbs in our most migratory sharks, which is, in fact, what we're seeing in my data so far.
Around the world, sharks' incredible sense of smell has allowed them to conquer territory after territory. Deep below the surface, a remote-operated vehicle scans the depths, looking for signs of life. Here, no sunlight penetrates. What little light that exists is produced by alien-looking creatures through chemical reactions. Largely unexplored, much of the deep is a vast desert. But despite continuous darkness, high pressure, near freezing temperatures, and scarce food, a giant lurks in these depths. Meet the six-gill. Reaching lengths of almost 5 meters, these hardy sharks have survived down here for more than 50 million years. But how do they do it? Their secret is gravity. The sea floor is the graveyard of the ocean. Anything that dies at the surface ends up down here. Off the coast of the Azores in the mid-Atlantic, scientists monitor the carcasses of whales. As they decompose, they release scent into the water. It's thought that the sixth gill, like all sharks, can smell in stereo. Cells inside its nose can detect the microsecond delay it takes odors to reach one nostril before the other. With this superpower, six gills can zero in on carcasses with incredible precision. The blood soon attracts more hungry scavengers. Serrated teeth on the upper jaw lock onto the flesh, while saw-like blades on the lower jaw rip chunks out of the carcass. Every centimeter of the shark's body is perfectly designed to take advantage of this windfall. "400 million years of evolution have produced shark teeth in every shape and size. And just like their brains, each shark species has a set of jaws perfectly designed for its favored prey. At his lab at the University of Florida, 𝐤�𤄋�12 collects specimens from all over the globe.
Sharks' teeth are quite remarkable in terms of their engineering. Different species have got very characteristic shaped teeth. This is a juvenile tiger shark, and it has these cockscomb-shaped teeth on both the upper and the lower jaw. And these animals feed on many different things, but among them are turtles. And they'll clamp down on the turtle shell and saw through the carapace of the turtle. And these teeth allow them to do that really efficiently. Other sharks, like this one, are adapted for high-speed chasing of their prey. This is a mako, the fastest fish in the sea, can go at burst speed up to 70 kilometers an hour. And you'll see that it's got these spike-like teeth all the way around the jaw. These teeth are designed exclusively just to be able to grab on to fast-moving prey items. They're not designed for cutting, for taking chunks out, just grabbing onto them and hanging onto them until they've either been subdued or they can be swallowed. But make no mistake about it, the real innovation in sharks' teeth is not the different kinds of teeth they have, but the fact that they're continuously replaced throughout their lifetime. Here on this lemon shark jaw, we can see rows and rows of teeth. These will move forward over the jaw from the back to the front. It's essentially a conveyor belt. And then as they get right to the front, they flick up and they stand up, ready for use. A typical shark may lose up to 30,000 teeth in a lifetime, which is incredibly useful. A lion in the savannah in Africa, as soon as it loses its teeth, is unable to catch prey and will die shortly afterwards. But sharks and rays continuously replace their teeth in this unusual way. The fact that these animals have this capacity has probably played an important role in their success.
Shark teeth also act as an important window into their past. At the nearby Montbrook dig site in northern Florida, Gavin's colleague, Jeanette Perlow, is unearthing shark fossils for the museum's collection.
A shark skeleton is made out of cartilage. So if you think about the cartilage in our nose and our ears, which is fairly flexible but still holds structure, that is what a shark's body is made out of, and that cartilage does not preserve well in the fossil record.
In contrast, their teeth are made of tough enameloid. Using these fossils, scientists around the world have been able to piece together the evolutionary history of sharks.
Sharks showed up in the ocean around 450 million years ago. That's long before humans, long before dinosaurs, and even older than plants and trees.
Between then and now, most life on Earth has gone extinct. Victims of natural disasters, asteroid strikes, and extreme changes in temperatures and sea levels. But somehow, sharks survived it all.
We think that sharks' adaptability helped them survive mass extinctions. So they were able to survive low oxygen levels in the ocean, find food, and find areas where they could survive.
Today, their adaptability and opportunistic nature continue to explain their success. From sharks that live up rivers, to sharks that can survive out of water.